All right, so in this bit, I want to look at using Excel to as a calculator for statistics. And I'm just going to go over the basics of Excel, and you'll explore this more with the first Excel project. So what we want to do is we want to start with a blank workbook. So I'll come over here and I'll create a blank workbook. And that moves me into a blank workbook. Let me here. And what we want to notice about Excel is notice up above it has alphabetical letters to represent columns and numbers to represent rows. And Excel is set up to work with data in columns and rows. And so what we talk about are these individual places called cells. And so each one of these little boxes is a cell. So this cell is, notice up here, A1. That's its name, A1. Well, this one is A2. And over here is H5. Yeah. Now we can enter things into the cells. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just make up some data. So I'm going to talk about some different days of the week. So we'll go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I have days of the week coming through here. And what I'll do is we'll say number of sales, amount of sales. And what I'll do here is I can make these columns a little bit wider by dragging them over so I can read my headings. What I'm doing is I'm basically collecting some data. I'll slide that over by seeing how it comes two arrows and just dragging it so it's wider. Amount of sales, and we'll do man hours, employee man hours that we have. And so we have some business or something. Right now I'm just using it to manipulate the software. And I left a blank column here, but we have some of the number of sales. So let's say we were in a store and we do 250 sales on Monday, 312 on Tuesday, 118 on Wednesday, 160 on Thursday. Friday is 650 because everyone comes out. 702, and Sunday is 428 sales. So this is the number of sales. And the amount of the sales is $5,328.42. I'm just putting data in here. Don't worry about where this is coming from. I'm just showing how I put information in. Now I can hit tab or enter to put in data, but what I want to do is look at some of the statistics we can get from these. 6,418.23 cents, 4,128, 389, 4,513 or 12, sorry, and 27, 12,321.10, 13,058.11, and oops, I keep hitting the right mouse button on my laptop here, sorry about that. 428, which is 7,321.27. And so man hours, let's say our store's open 16 hours and we have 2 people, so it's 32, 32, 32, 32. We have an extra person on the weekends, but we're not open full hours on Sunday. And so here's some data. We've put data into a spreadsheet, and we've done this by highlighting and moving across. But what makes Excel really nice for us is it can become a calculator for this. And so I have nominal data here in column A, and I have interval data, in fact ratio data here, and ratio data here. And we can start doing calculations with this. This becomes a calculator for us. And what happens is I'm going to click on a cell down here, and I'm going to come up, and we can type in formulas. We can type in mathematics. And there are some neat mathematical functions that Excel is going to let us use. And so I'll come over here to G. If I hit the equal sign first, I can now 5 plus 3, and it will give me 8. So it becomes a calculator. And one of the things we'll want to do is I can do 5 plus 3 divided by 4. Notice I use parentheses, my order of operations. I have to, get these grouped together, and so that should be a 2. And so it becomes a nice calculator. But where the really strong calculations come for this is how I can work on data within cells. And so I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do, well, how many sales did I have for the whole week? So I'll do total for the week. And what I want to come down here and do now, I want to say, well, let's add everything up above. So I'm going to say equal, and I'm going to do a sum. And sum's going to add everything up in a range of cells. And I can click on C1 to C2 or C8. And notice what it wrote on there. It said the sum of C2 colon C8. When I hit tab, it adds up all the sales. Now what's really nice about that is that I did the sum of everything in this column. And I could come back and I could go, well, what is it? I do the sum of D2 through D8. But if I grab this little corner down here and I drag it, it copies the function, but it updates the columns that I want to be in. And so now I have the total number of sales, the total amount of the sales for the week, and the total number of man hours. And so I'm able to do calculations with this rather quickly. And we're going to find that we're going to need to do different calculations on large sets of data, 40, 50, 60 pieces of data, and being able to have it added up for us rather quickly makes this utility rather nice. And so you want to practice and start getting used to entering and manipulating data in Excel. Well, what's the other thing we can do? Well, I can do the average per day. And so I'll come here, and again, I'm going to go equal, and I'm going to put in the word average. Again, I'm going to click on the first one and the last one. By holding down the shift key, it gives me the last one. I mistyped here. There we go. And so I averaged 374.28 sales per day. And if I move this across, I'll get the average dollar amount and the average man hours. And so Excel becomes a way of doing mathematics for us rather quickly and rather efficiently. And so here I put in this example of how we can do some data manipulation with Excel. One of the other things we're going to want to do is we're going to want random numbers. And the first exercise you're going to work through will be generating some random numbers and doing some calculations on those random numbers. But what you really want to get used to is the nomenclature in Excel of this is a cell A and A1, this is C8. And coming in here and typing in a number or typing in your data and hitting tab so that it's entered in. I also notice up here that the data we're entering is coming across. And then if you want to do a function, you can do the equal sign and it turns it into a calculator. If there's a particular function you want to do, you can use the insert function option. And we'll work our way through different variations of this. But your first assignment will be creating a small spreadsheet with some data in it and doing calculations. And I will continue that in the next lecture.